All right, good morning or afternoon or wherever you are. Welcome to Tech for Senior. This, of course, is March the 10th. Hopefully everybody woke up. An hour difference. I get only an hour. Ray, did you remember to wake up at the right time today? I guess it's
I,
Arizona has to change their time today.
I did. I proud of myself. Some of the clocks didn't change. That should have. I think I told you, be happy being in Arizona where I didn't have to change the clocks. I never realized I'm going to have to remember twice a year what time it is elsewhere.
All right. Anyway, hopefully everyone got here on time. We have a great show for you today. But I do want to remind everybody about our Thursday show. We do have our Thursday show where we talk about the tech news of the week. And for those of you who didn't see the show last week, I have to tell you about an interesting story we got in the comments while the show was on. We got a comment from a viewer saying, "Do you mind if I watch the show? I'm only 19 years old." So, so I thought that was pretty cool, and it sort of made our day, right? That we all had a good laugh about it, and I thought that was just great. So, for those of you who saw our newsletter this weekend, you'll also notice that our premiere video that will be coming out today will be we have three selections. I'll be talking on cable versus fiber TV. Huey's going to talk about manuals live manuals lib, which is where you can find online manuals. Remember that, Huey? You did that a year ago.
Yeah,
It was
so
great.
that specifically that one,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it was a
still
good one.
used a
Yeah, that was.
lot. Yeah.
And Bob's going to show us how to preview a website in Chrome. So really interesting selection today. So if you want to, it will come on at 1/2 past the hour. Speaking of the newsletter, I wanted to just play a little video I have for you. We did make some changes, and I'm just going to let me just give a little. Well, good morning or afternoon or wherever you are. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. I'm the producer and editor of our newsletter. And as you'll see behind me here is, of course, our Saturday newsletter. Now, we've made a big change, which I just wanted to show you today. But before we do that, I want to thank our sponsors. As you know, we have, of course, our three sponsors for our newsletter that is published twice weekly, once on Tuesday and once on Saturday. I want to thank the Glenora Seniors Computer Club for their generous sponsorship, along with Geeks on Tour, and of course our new sponsor, APCUG, which is the Association of Personal Computer User Group. I'd like to thank these three sponsors because they make our bi-weekly newsletter possible. All right, let's get on to the newsletter that I sent out on Saturday. For those of you who, let's just come down here in the newsletter, and you'll see this is the familiar top part of the newsletter. And when I come down, the first thing you are going to see is view this newsletter in your browser. Yes, that is in black here. This is just a banner, but this will be a permanent link here. View this newsletter in your browser. What you're looking at here is the email that I sent you that the newsletter is in. So you can view it as an email, but if you want, you just click this link and it's going to bring it up in your browser. So let's have a look and see what happens when we do that. I'm going to click this link here, and now this means that we now are in our browser, and you can go and you can look at the newsletter, and it actually looks better in your browser. It's really pretty cool. Anyway, it's in your browser, whatever browser you're using, it will be there. But I want to draw your attention up to the top left-hand corner here, and you'll see it says subscribe. If we click this, it's just going to ask you if you want to subscribe, but you already have subscribed. But let's look at past issues. This is a request we've often had. How do we find all the past issues? Well, now we have, of course, all the past issues of our newsletter. So if you want to go down here and find out the February 25th, you can click this, and it brings up the February 25th newsletter. So if you want to go back and look at prior newsletters, that is now available in the past issues tab in the browser if you want to look at that. So anyway, hopefully that'll help you with some of the issues that you have. I know it's a frequent request. How do we find past newsletters? So please enjoy that. And don't forget to do my weekly quiz. I have a lot of fun making that up. All right. We'll talk soon. Enjoy the show. And just to clarify that for everyone, it's the past 20 newsletters. It doesn't go back to for the whole series. It goes back for the past 20, and you only can see that if you're in the browser. So it's not in the email part of the newsletter. So anyway, I thought that would be interesting because we do get a lot of questions. How do I find the newsletter from a week ago or whatever? But now it's very easy for you to find. All right, that's pretty good. I don't think I had a lot more. Huey, you had a good WinSig yesterday?
We did. We had a good crowd. We had several good discussions on various Windows items and computer items. It was a good meeting. And then right after that, Mike's doing a series on taking your Windows 10 computer and turning it into a Linux computer and how the steps to do it and how to make that happen. And so he started that right after in the CFCS meeting. So
Okay.
we had a good turnout. Yep.
Good turnout. Great. Bob, are you shoveling snow there? You said it's a little cold there this morning?
Yeah, it's cold, no snow, no rain, of course. A couple of weeks ago, we were nice and warm. We were in the 70s. Now you're
Yeah, I
back down
know.
in the morning. It was 24 this morning. So
All right. And of course, Ray Baxter, how are things going? You were a little cool as well there this last week. So
Yeah, yeah. The weather that Bob experiences, we're pretty much the same, surprisingly. But we had some snow earlier in the week, about 5 inches, but it's all gone now, and I didn't have to shovel once.
there you go. Life doesn't get better. And of course, Bill James still just on the back of his whirlwind tour de France is back to do a presentation today. Bill, where's your next trip?
Italy in
Oh,
October.
really? Okay. You're going in October?
October.
October. All right. Very good. Very good. And of course, we'll be introducing Mike Leaman as our new addition to Tech for Senior. I'll be introducing Mike a little bit later, and we'll certainly have a lot of talk with Mike. Welcome, Mike, and we'll be talking to you a bit later. All right, let's get on with it. Bob, are you ready to roll?
I hope so.
There you go.
Here's my Tech Talk and Beyond for the week ending March 7th, 2025. And this week's topic, your phone is a blabbermouth. Stop it from leaking your data now. Your phone is like that one friend who can't keep a secret. It's constantly whispering your location, habits, and personal details to apps, advertisers, and who knows who. But don't worry, there's a fix. Here's how to shut your phone up and take back your privacy in just a few taps. Number 1, location tracking. Do you really need a digital shadow? Apps love knowing where you are, even if they don't need it. Does your flashlight app really need your GPS? Probably not. On iPhones, go to Settings, Privacy, and Security, Location Services, and turn off location for apps that don't need it. On Android, navigate to Settings, Location, and restrict permissions for unnecessary apps. Pro tip: if an app must use your location, like Maps, select while using the app instead of always. Number 2, personalized ads. The internet knows too much about you. Ever search for a toaster and then saw ads for toasters everywhere? That's because your phone is tracking your every move to serve you ads. On iPhone, go to Settings, Privacy and Security, Apple Advertising, and turn off personalized ads. On Android, head to Settings, Privacy, Ads, and opt out of ad tracking. Fun fact: disable these settings won't remove ads completely, but it will make them less creepy. Number 3, app permissions. Stop giving apps VIP access to your life. Some apps act like they own your phone. They want access to your contacts, microphone, camera, and even your emotions. Okay, maybe not that last one yet. On iPhones, check Settings, Privacy and Security, and see which apps are snooping around. On Android, go to Settings, Privacy, Permission Manager, and revoke any unnecessary permissions. Test it yourself. If an app crashes after you remove a permission, it was probably misusing it in the first place. Number 4, encrypt your device. Lock down your data. Think of encryption as putting your personal data in a high-tech vault. Without it, anyone who gets access to your phone can see everything. On Android, check Settings, Security, Encryption, and Credentials to ensure encryption is enabled. On iPhone, if you've set up a passcode, encryption is already on. Well done, Apple. Pro tip, use a strong passcode, not 1234 or password, because hackers will try those first. Number 5, regular updates. The annoying but necessary fix. Yes, software updates are a pain, but skipping them is like leaving your front door unlocked. Updates patch security holes that hackers love to exploit. Turn on automatic updates. iPhone, Settings, General, Software Update, Automatic Updates. Android, Settings, System Update. Pro tip, updates can also improve battery life and speed up your phone. Number 6, public Wi-Fi, hackers' favorite playground. Public Wi-Fi is great for scrolling, but it's also a hacker's dream. Unsecured networks allow bad actors to snoop on your data. Avoid accessing sensitive accounts, banking, email on public Wi-Fi. Use a VPN to encrypt your connection when on the go. Easy fix. If you must use public Wi-Fi, turn off auto join networks. Settings, Wi-Fi, so your phone doesn't connect without your permission. Number 7, stronger passcodes, your first line of defense. A weak passcode is like using a paper lock on a steel door. Ditch the simple 4-digit PIN. Use a 6-digit or alphanumeric passcode instead. Enable biometric authentication. Face ID, fingerprint for an extra layer of security. Fun fact, 123456 is still one of the most common passwords in the world. If that's yours, please change it. Number 8, two-factor authentication, because one password isn't enough. If a hacker gets your password, 2FA is your safety net. It adds an extra step, like a text message code, to verify your identity. Turn on 2FA for important accounts, Google, Apple, banking, etc. Use an authenticator app instead of SMS for extra security. Real talk. If your password gets stolen but you have 2FA enabled, hackers are out of luck. Number 9. Turn off features you don't use. Your phone has a lot of hidden features that could be leaking data without you knowing. Disable Bluetooth and NFC when not in use. Turn off background app refresh to stop apps from secretly running in the background. Bonus, this also saves battery life. Number 10, back up your data because accidents happen. Even if you do everything right, things can go wrong. Phones get lost, stolen, or break. Make sure you have backups. Use iCloud or Google Drive to back up important data. Manually back up to a computer for an extra layer of protection. Pro tip: set up automatic backups so you don't have to think about it. Final thoughts: take control of your privacy today. Your phone doesn't have to be a data leaking snitch. By making these simple changes, you can keep your personal information safe, limit creepy tracking, and enjoy better security. So what are you waiting for? Stay safer, stay securer by tweaking those settings now. Your future self will thank you. Did you know the invention of the rubber eraser trailed the invention of the pencil by 2 centuries? The first wood and graphite pencils were created in the 16th century, but rubber erasers weren't invented until the late 18th century. So it must have taken 2 centuries to invent mistakes. Disney World is the second largest purchaser of explosives in the United States, the first being the U.S. Department of Defense. There are computers designed for Amish people, with selling points like no internet, no video, no music. There's a full-scale styrofoam replica of Stonehenge located in Virginia called, appropriately enough, Foamhenge. Just thought you might like to know. When you hate, the only person that is suffering is you, because most of the people you hate don't know it and the rest don't care, thanks to Medgar Evers. Hate never solves anything. With mutual understanding, most misunderstandings are solvable, thanks to yours truly. And that's a wrap for this week's Tech Talk and Beyond. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for reading, watching, and listening.
So, Bob, I think you're becoming a bit of a philosopher now in your wisdom years, in your years of wisdom.
If I don't do it now,
Well done. Well done again. Well done. All right, let's see what I think I've got a video here. Let's see what I have to say. How tall is Mount Everest? Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's do a search. Well, there we go. Found the answer. So we can use AI to do searches. Most of you have all used Google to search, but of course now we can use AI. And we found a clear winner. Yes, I'm going to tell you what that is at the end. In this video, we're going to compare YouTube search with ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot. I've got 4 search items we're going to use. We're going to compare the results and declare a winner. Stick around, it's really interesting. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we help seniors understand technology and this AI stuff. This is part of a series I'm making on understanding AI for the over 50. This is episode 6, and it is all about using AI to search. So I'll put the link for the playlist below in the description and a link to the other 5 videos that we've made. This will be a 10-part series, so you know how you can keep informed of the new videos. That's right, that like and subscribe. So let's get started with our 4 examples I discussed earlier. So I've done a search on how tall is Mount Everest in Google. So let's have a look what it comes up with. You'll see here on my screen that I'm in the Google browser. This is my search, and Mount Everest is 8,849 meters tall. You'll see on the right-hand side, so it gives me the information right here. It gives me a few pictures of Mount Everest. As I come down here, it gives me some other mountains, and it tells me immediately how tall it is. Now I'm now in ChatGPT, and we're going to do the same search. Remember, we're going to be using ChatGPT as our search engine and trying to see how tall Mount Everest is. So let's have a look and see what we find. So you'll see the results are very accurate. Mount Everest is 8,848.86 meters. And this is the information that we get compared to the Google search. Let's see what we do in Gemini. Now I'm in Gemini. I've typed in how tall is Mount Everest. Let's see what we get. Again, we get the height of Mount Everest, as well as some sources and related content. This gives us a Wikipedia article, and this gives us a Britannica article here. So we have two related content. This is what you get with the Gemini search. Let's see what Copilot has to say. Here we are in Copilot. I've typed in the bottom, how tall is Mount Everest? So let's see what we get. So how tall is Mount Everest? Again, it gives us information about Mount Everest. Is there a particular reason you're curious about Mount Everest? And it gives us some options here as well. So this is what you get if you search for the information in Copilot. All right, as we look at ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot, they all gave us a direct answer. ChatGPT and Copilot summarized additional details such as history of measurements and climbing info. Gemini provide links to Google sources as well. But I still think Google was clear and concise, provided some extra sources for me, and gave me some pictures. It just felt that the information I got was a little bit better. Your choice, you can have a look at that, but that's my opinion so far. Let's try again now. All right, we're back in my Chrome browser, and we're going to change the search now. And I'm going to ask, what are the best laptops for video editing? And let's have a look. Well, I've typed this in my Google search, and guess what? Now we're seeing sponsored ads come up. So the first search, of course, is for Dell, and it's going to give me the high-performance laptops. The second search is Best Buy. So we're now starting to see ads coming up at the beginning. And then we come down, of course, and we can see PC Magazine laptops for video editing in 2025, some information for us. And as we come down here, we'll see more references. But the first two will, of course, will be ads as the ads start to appear in our Google search. All right, so let's see what happens with ChatGPT. ChatGPT, let's have a look. What are the best laptops for video editing? Now here we get a longer narrative. This could be a little more interesting. When choosing a laptop for video editing, and it's recommending the Apple MacBook Pro, the Dell XPS 17, as we come down, the Asus machine, Lenovo, and it's making some suggestions for us as it's giving some information. Then it comes down how to choose a video editing laptop, and it gives us some information. So this gives us a little bit more information, I think, than the Google search. I'm quite excited with this. I think this is useful information. All right, Gemini, what is the best laptop for video editing? Key factors to consider. And then coming down, it's going to give us some information here. Sort of like this, the top laptop recommendations. It summarizes this nicely, gives important notes. This is, I like this. This is clear and concise and gives me the information right like I would want it. So this is good. Let's see what Copilot does. All right, Copilot, what is the best laptop for video editing? All right, let's see what it says. It gives me the pics right at the top. And it says, gives me concise information. It gives me a selection of laptops. Each of these laptops have powerful processors, and it gives me some references, PC Magazine, PC World, and Doc University for information. All right, this is a personal choice for me. I like Gemini. I thought that the concise information that it gave me was very helpful. So if I had to vote on it, I would choose Gemini as my best search results on that topic. All right, back in Google search, and let's say how to bake a chocolate cake. Let's do a Google search on that and see what we come up with. So Google search is going to give us 3 recipes. It's going to give us these 3 recipes here. Comes down to all recipes. It's going to give me some videos on how to bake a chocolate cake, how to bake a chocolate cake step by step. And it's going to give me some information here. So this is the information we'd get on a Google search. Let's see how ChatGPT does. Okay, let's have a look. It gives us the ingredients as we come down, and it'll show us for the cake all the things that we need. It's going to give us chocolate frosting. Ooh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about this. Chocolate frosting. It's going to tell us instruction how to prepare the cake batter, bake the cake, making the frosting, assemble a cake, and tips for success. And of course, you can copy these, print them, edit them, whatever you want. But looks sort of cool to me. Would you like any modifications, like a gluten-free or dairy-free version? Okay, let's see what Gemini has to say. So this is a bit interesting. Baking as a delicious chocolate cake can be a rewarding experience. Key elements for a great chocolate cake, general steps, combine dry ingredients, so on and so forth. And then it's going to give us some recommendation on certain websites where we can go and find a recipe. All right, and I hope this information is helpful, but it actually didn't give me a recipe. Certainly wasn't as much information as ChatGPT. I wonder what Copilot will do. Let's have a look. Okay, Copilot, how to bake a chocolate cake. That was pretty quick. It did give us a recipe. It gave us the ingredients. It gave instructions on how to bake it. Optional frosting. A pro tip, try to add a pinch of espresso powder to the batter. So that was good. Let's wrap it up and see which one we like the best. So which one did I prefer? So it really depends on what you're looking for. If you did a Google search, it gave us some YouTube videos to watch to make a cake, and I'm sure they're very good. I think out of the 3 AI, I think that ChatGPT gave me the most information in a way that I would use it. I'd probably bake that recipe. It gave me some alternatives. I thought it was a really good summary of how to bake a chocolate cake. So my vote would go to the ChatGPT. All right, for our last example, I want to use a current event or a news story. So I've asked Google search, what's the latest on the SpaceX Starship launch? And this is what it came up with. As you can see, there it talks about some top stories from US Today, from CBC, the New York Times, and CNN. So if you wanted to find out the latest in a SpaceX Starship launch, again, top news stories, it's going to give you some pretty good information. All right, we're now in ChatGPT. What is the latest on the SpaceX Starship launch? Let's see what it gives us. Searching the web. Here's the information. So it's going to give us on March 6, 2025. So it seems to be pretty current. Explosion, falling debris. And then, of course, it gives us some further information and references here. So this is what you would get on ChatGPT. So we're now in Gemini. Let's see what it has to say. What's the latest on the SpaceX Starship launch? So let's have a look and see what it says. Recent test flight, problems ultimately failed, impacts, summaries, and some references. In essence, while SpaceX has made progress with the Super Heavy booster, challenges remain. So it did find all the latest information, and it did give some references at the bottom here for you for further information. So let's look at the final AI that we're going to do the search in, and that of course is Copilot. What's the latest on the SpaceX Starship launch? And this is in Copilot. Let's see what it has to say. What's the latest? Let's have a look and see what it says. SpaceX's latest Starship launch on March 7th ended in another explosion. The spacecraft contact and mission control. And then it gives some articles. If we click ABC News, it will come up with a result. So this gave us a synopsis, pretty small synopsis compared to the other ones. And this was Copilot. So which wins out? Well, if you need real-time updates, Google search usually wins hands down. AI chatbots aren't always updated in real time, making them less reliable for breaking news. But again, it depends on what your preferences are. You saw the results. It really is your choice. All right, in summary, what is the clear winner? Well, it depends on what you're searching for, and it depends on your preferences. So the clear winner is going to be on what you decide. And my advice is to try them. Try different scenarios, different search patterns, and you'll find one that you like. So give it a try. It's a lot of fun, and I think it's a good alternative to a Google search. So it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and had as much fun watching it as I did making it. Till we meet again, have a great day. And don't forget that like and subscribe, and we'll notify you when episode 7, 8, 9, and 10 is made. Bye now. Okay. Well, there might be some questions about that. We'll deal with those in the Q&A. Bill, are you ready to go?
Spring cleaning isn't just for your home. Imagine your computer is like a closet. If you keep stuffing clothes in, eventually, you run out of space. The same thing happens with your computer. It needs some breathing room to run smoothly. Over time, your computer collects digital clutter, temporary files, old downloads, and things you don't use anymore. All this stuff takes up valuable space on your hard drive. Just like cleaning your closet, you can tidy up your computer to free up space. This makes it faster and more efficient. So, are you ready to roll up your sleeves and reclaim some gigabytes? Let's do it. Think of temporary files as old receipts you no longer need, and downloads as unused gadgets collecting dust. Clearing these out can make a huge difference in your computer's performance. Just like an organized desk helps you work better, a decluttered computer helps it run better. Windows 11 has a handy tool called Storage Sense. Think of it as your personal digital cleaning assistant. It automatically gets rid of files you don't need, like temporary files and items in your recycle bin. You can customize Storage Sense to fit your needs. You can choose how often it cleans up, what types of files it removes, and more. To find Storage Sense, just type storage in the search bar and click on Storage Settings. Once you're in the storage settings, toggle on Storage Sense to enable it. Next, click on Configure Storage Sense or Run It Now to customize its settings. Here, you can set how often Storage Sense runs, every day, week, month, or when your disk space is low. You can also choose which files to delete, such as temporary files, items in the recycle bin, and files in the Downloads folder. If you want to run Storage Sense manually, you can do so by clicking Clean Now at the bottom of the settings page. Once you've set it up, Storage Sense works quietly in the background, keeping your computer clutter-free without you lifting a finger. It's like having a cleaning fairy for your digital life. Windows 11 also offers helpful storage recommendations. It's like having a friend look at your closet and suggest what to donate. Windows analyzes your storage and points out large files, unused apps, and other things taking up space. You'll see these recommendations in your storage settings. Click through each suggestion to decide what to do. You can delete files, uninstall apps, or move things to a different drive. It's a great way to get a clear picture of what's hogging your storage and make informed decisions about what to keep and what to toss. For example, Windows might identify large files like videos or high-resolution photos that you haven't accessed in a while. It can also highlight unused apps that are just taking up space, making it easy for you to decide whether to keep or uninstall them. Additionally, you can move less frequently used files to an external drive to free up space on your main drive. Following these recommendations can help you maintain a clean and efficient storage system on your Windows 11 device. One of the simplest ways to free up space is to uninstall apps and games you don't use anymore. Go to Settings, then Apps, and then Apps and Features. You'll see a list of everything installed on your computer. Click on an app or game you don't need and you'll find an uninstall button. Click it, confirm, and poof, it's gone, freeing up space on your drive. Remember, you can always reinstall an app later if you need it. Another tip is to organize your apps by frequency of use. You can also set reminders to review your installed apps every few months. So, don't be afraid to say goodbye to those digital dust collectors. To further free up space on your computer, external storage solutions are a great option. Let's discuss the different types available. First, we have solid-state drives, or SSDs. They are faster and more durable than traditional hard disk drives, but they can be more expensive. Next, hard disk drives, or HDDs, offer more storage for a lower price, but they are slower and more prone to physical damage. Lastly, cloud storage services allow you to store files online, making them accessible from any device. However, they require an internet connection and may have subscription fees. To use external media such as a flash drive, external hard drive, or solid-state drive, simply connect your device, transfer your files, and voila! You've freed up space on your computer. Remember to safely eject your device after transferring files to avoid data corruption. Using external storage is a simple and effective way to keep your computer running smoothly. Disk cleanup is another tool for freeing up space taken up by old Windows system restore files and shadow copies. Disk cleanup is a built-in tool in Windows that helps you remove unnecessary files from your computer. To access disk cleanup, type disk cleanup in the search bar and select the drive you want to clean. Once the scan is complete, click on Cleanup System Files and select the More Options tab. Here you can remove old system restore points and shadow copies. This can free up a significant amount of space on your hard drive. Remember to use this tool carefully, as deleting these files will remove your ability to restore your system to an earlier point. Using disk cleanup wisely can provide you with the extra space you need to keep your computer running smoothly. Let's go through the steps in detail. First, open disk cleanup by typing disk cleanup in the search bar and pressing enter. Select the drive you want to clean and click OK. Disk cleanup will start scanning your drive for unnecessary files. This may take a few minutes. Once the scan is complete, you'll see a list of file categories that can be deleted. Check the boxes next to the categories you want to remove. Next, click on Cleanup System Files to scan for additional files, including old system restore points and shadow copies. Go to the More Options tab and under System Restore and Shadow Copies, click Clean Up. A confirmation dialog will appear. Click Delete to remove all but the most recent restore point. After the cleanup is complete, you'll see how much space has been freed up on your drive. By following these steps, you can effectively use disk cleanup to free up valuable space and keep your computer running efficiently. In this video, we've covered several easy tips to free up space on your Windows 11 computer. We started by comparing your computer to a closet that needs regular cleaning. We then introduced StorageSense, your personal digital cleaning assistant, and discussed how to use storage recommendations to identify and remove unnecessary files. We also discussed the importance of uninstalling unused apps and games, and explored external storage solutions like hard drives and cloud storage. Finally, we talked about how to use disk cleanup to remove old system restore points and shadow copies. Before we wrap up, here are a couple of bonus tips to keep your computer clutter-free. First, regularly empty your recycle bin. Even though you've deleted files, they still take up space until you empty the bin. Second, consider using a third-party cleaning tool for more advanced options and deeper cleaning capabilities. Third, Use the Task Manager to disable startup programs that you don't need, which can also help improve performance. Fourth, regularly check the storage settings in the Windows 11 Settings app to monitor and manage your disk space. Fifth, keep your files organized by regularly sorting and archiving old files that you no longer need immediate access to. By following these tips, you can keep your computer running smoothly and efficiently. Thank you for watching. This is Bill James, Tech for Senior.
Thanks, Bill. As I said earlier, I did my spring cleaning a couple of weeks ago, and it was amazing how much space I got back and how much it fills up. You know, if you're not careful, it fills up pretty darn quick.
Time for spring cleaning.
Time for spring cleaning. Excellent. Thank you so much for doing that. All right. Now, we talked a bit about search today with AI. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have Bob show us a new feature coming out in search. This is probably not available for you, but Bob's going to show us how it works and sort of the what is available, what is coming in the future. Is that the best way to put it, Bob?
Yeah, you won't all have it, but some of you already might.
Okay.
Here's something new from Google Labs that I've just been granted access to. It's AI mode in Google search. If you go to labs.google, you can sign up for this. Right now, you have to sign up first, and it's only available apparently here in the US and some other places. So I can select it because I've been granted access, and we'll go to the try AI mode so you can take a look and see what it looks like. Meet AI Mode, a new search experiment where you can get AI-powered responses, ask follow-up questions, and explore more on the web. And it gives you a couple of examples that you can ask, but you can ask it anything you want, and you can also follow up on that prompt. And I have one that I'm going to ask it. It might seem silly, but really it's not. So do migrating birds need a green card to legally cross borders and migrate to a different country? Let's see what it has to say. In summary, while migrating birds may travel international borders, they do so as a natural part of their life cycle, not as subjects of human immigration laws. Their protection is addressed through international treaties and conservation efforts focused on preserving migratory bird populations and habitats across borders. Like I said, it might be a silly question, but it says you can ask it anything. Why not sign up for it? And once you get it, put it to work. Have some fun.
Just unshare, Bob.
That button wasn't there for a minute. I had to go find it.
So, Bob, that's interesting. Now, one of the big, as I showed on my search that I did, I showed the fact that if you did search about the computers, I said, what's the best computer for video editing? In a Google search, we immediately got all the ads. Like we got, depends on who paid the most to get the search at the top of the list. And that was a big problem for that type of question. Do you think in the search that you just did, if you did that, do you think you'd still get the ads, or do you think
no ads?
no ads, eh?
Correct. You will
Yeah,
get
so
what you saw in doing the search.
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yep. Yep.
That'd be so. So, what do you think the long haul of this is going to be? Because Google makes billions and billions and billions of dollars in their ad search, right? I mean, that's
Yep.
how
But
people
they
pay
have
all the
already
money.
decided, and that was part of a news article that I read. AI will not have ads in AI. How long will it last? I don't know. We used to
Yeah.
not have ads when we had cable TV. So,
Yeah.
but that's
Interesting.
the decision that was made, and that's universal by all of them. No ads in AI.
Huh. Interesting. All right. Well, excellent. Excellent. And as of course, this is a rapidly changing field and lots of different things happening. Even since I started the series six editions ago, lots has changed. So it's a rapidly changing field, the whole search in AI. All right. Before we get to Bill's selection now, we'll be stopping our feed that goes over to YouTube. I want to thank all the people over there for coming and watching. If you don't forget that we do have our Thursday show, please drop by and see us on Thursday. And if you want to pop over and participate in the Q&A coming up at top of the hour, then you're most welcome to do so. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you over on YouTube in about a week. All right, let me just stop that live. There you go, Ray. I think you're ready to roll.
Thank you very much, Ron. Before I begin the music segment this morning, I have an announcement. Today is going to be my last weekly music segment on Tech for Senior. Now, you may ask why. Well, I'll be turning 81 years old next month, and there are still quite a few things on my personal bucket list that I'd like to be able to get to and complete. Also, there's some personal family issues that are coming up in the next few months that are going to require my attention and involvement. So, looking back, I joined Tech for Senior in August of 2020. So you can see how many years it's been so far. And I've thoroughly enjoyed sharing my music history with all of you. I want to thank Ron and Yui and Bob for letting me work with them on this. My music format today is going to be on the legendary disc jockey Alan Freed, who on his final New York City radio broadcast reassured his listeners that it was not goodbye. So I'm conveying the same message. Not goodbye, just so long for a while. So now on with the show. Let me share. Okay, Alan Freed. He's the one who coined the term rock and roll. So Alan Freed was born Albert James Freed on December 15, 1921 in Windber, Pennsylvania. Would later become one of the most influential figures in the history of popular music. He was raised in a modest household. Freed developed an early passion for music, which was nurtured by his parents. They encouraged his interest in music, leading him to learn to play the trombone and participate in the school band. Now, Freed's DJ career took a significant turn in 1951 when he was invited to join WJW in Cleveland, Ohio. It was here that he adopted the moniker Moondog and began to use the term rock and roll to describe the music he was playing. In March 1952, Freed organized what is considered the first rock and roll concert, the Moondog Coronation Ball held at the Cleveland Arena. The overwhelming turnout caused the event to be shut down by the police, but it marked a significant moment in rock and roll history. Now, Freed's success in Cleveland caught the attention of major record labels and radio stations. And in 1954, he was offered a position at Wynn's in New York City, where he hosted the week-a-night show called The Rock and Roll Party that introduced a wide audience to this emerging genre. He played a mix of R&B and R&R, records featuring artists like Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Frankie Lyman, and the Teenagers. Freed was at the forefront of the cultural impact that rock and roll was providing. In the late 1950s, Freed became embroiled in the payola scandal. The legal troubles, combined with the changing landscape of the music industry, effectively ended his career as a prominent DJ. Alan Freed passed away on January 20th, 1965, at the age of only 43 from uremia and cirrhosis. Now, a trademark of the Rock and Roll Party, the rock and roll radio program, was the last song Freed played each evening. It was Jesse Belvin's Good Night, My Love. Now, Belvin grew up in Los Angeles and was a notable figure in the early days of rock and roll. Tragically, Jesse Belvin's life was cut short on February 6, 1960, when he and his wife Joanne died in a car accident in Hope, Arkansas, after a performance. Belvin was only 27. On a personal level, I still have most of the 78 RPM records I purchased as a preteen. Among them is Why Do Fools Fall in Love by Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. That's the song that introduced me to what we call doo-wop today. I first heard this song on my portable transistor radio in 1956, listening to Alan Freed, Rock and Roll Party. I also have several DVDs of the various Alan Freed movies that were released in the 1950s. In addition to television variety shows, this was another way we could see and hear the rock and roll stars of the day. In the late 1950s, I attended 3 Alan Freed stage shows in Brooklyn and Manhattan, seeing in person many of my musical idols. So if you ask me why music is such an important hobby for me today, I must give credit to Alan Freed, who was there for me and so many other teenagers at the birth of rock and roll. Now, that video was created when there was talk about removing Alan Freed's ashes, which were actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is in Cleveland, Ohio, where he started. And they were trying to keep them there, but no, the museum has, or the Hall of Fame rather, has decided, and his ashes have been removed. They just didn't think it was appropriate to have them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Other people disagree.
Ray, I want, on behalf of everybody at Tech for Senior, all the viewers and everybody that works on the show, I want to thank you for all the work that you put in over the past 5 years. And I know that, just to let everyone know that you're not leaving. You are simply, you're going to be our honorary membership person, or not membership, but we're giving you an honorary lifetime award, and you can come and go as you want. And if I'm sure Mike Leaman would be happy to let you do an occasional, video if you want. Mike, of course, we'll be introducing Mike next week. Mike Leaman will be taking over Ray's job. Well, he'll be doing the 10-minute session, and we'll talk about how that will all take place. So,
Yeah.
but I want to thank you, and I know the chat people have coming, lots of notes coming in through the chat. Let's give Ray a big round of applause for all the work that he's done and the great music that he's given us.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
All right.
I'll be back. I won't take on Mike's role, but I will certainly do segments from time to time on computer presentations. After all, this is Tech for Senior.
That's true. But also, your life is music as well. So maybe you can, there'll be lots of people dying next 6 months. So you'll have lots of,
My reputation precedes me.
You'll have lots of choice. So anyway, well, we look forward to you seeing you again. So anyway, just to let people know that you'll be in and out and keeping in touch with us. So listen, thank you so much. As you know, this is top of the hour now. I think it was a great program. We're opening this up to Q&A. If you have any questions, put up your hand and you can certainly answer. We'll hopefully be able to answer them for you. Remind everybody that, of course, we do have our premiere video coming up at 1:30. I'll be talking on cable versus fiber TV. Huey's going to talk on the manuals library, and Bob's going to talk on previewing websites in Chrome. Really interesting topics this week. And the premiere, if you are in a computer club and you do having problems finding content to play for your club, these are all made with the educational purpose in mind. They're all cut up and ready to show, so you can take and use any of these 3 videos from our whole library, and you can use them in your computer club. And we encourage you to do that. We just would appreciate just mentioning our name, and that's all we ask. So